You didn't stumble upon this by chance. Something within your energy field triggered an assembly in dimensions you cannot perceive with ordinary sight. The Arcturians convened, and the verdict they reached is already reshaping the fabric of your existence. You've felt it, haven't you? That persistent sensation in your chest, like something pressing from the inside out. The strange ways time has been slipping through your fingers. The undeniable knowing that you're being observed by something ancient, something aware. This isn't anxiety speaking. This is confirmation. Contact has been initiated. What I'm about to share with you isn't speculation about what might unfold. This is the account of something that has already occurred in the subtle architecture of reality. The Arcturian Council assembled in their chamber beyond physical space. Your energetic signature was brought before them, deliberated upon, and a verdict was delivered. You are the reason they gathered. Before we go further, I need you to understand something crucial. If this truth is landing in your chest right now, if you feel the recognition rising in your body, go to the comments and type 2 words. I'm ready. This isn't just engagement. What you're doing is sending a response signal back through the quantum field, confirming to your own soul that you're prepared to receive what's coming. You're acknowledging that you've heard the transmission. Let me tell you who the Arcturian Council truly is, and more importantly, what they are not. They are not cosmic judges in ceremonial garments, weighing your virtues against your failures. They are not here to determine if you've been good enough or fallen short. Their function is far more specific than that. They are unified consciousness, a collective intelligence comprised of beings who have evolved beyond individual separation. Think of them as the gardeners of planetary evolution, tending to the growth trajectory of civilizations like ours. They are the steady hand beneath the current, guiding without controlling. Here's what most people misunderstand. The Arcturian Council doesn't track individual humans. They don't monitor your daily thoughts or catalog your choices. That's not their role in the cosmic order. Instead, they attune to Earth's quantum field, that living web of interconnected energy and information that binds all consciousness on this planet into a single, breathing system. They read the patterns within this field, not the people creating them. When you think of councils, you probably imagine what you know from human experience: debate, discussion, disagreement. Votes split down partisan lines. The Arcturian Council doesn't function that way. There is no argument in their chamber because there is no separation in their awareness. They don't debate. They measure. They don't dispute. They attune. They listen for one specific thing: coherence. They watch for those extraordinary moments when a soul, or sometimes an entire civilization, begins broadcasting a signal so pure, so internally aligned, that it possesses the power to shift entire timelines. When that happens, they move from passive observation into focused, intentional response. Picture this. There's an energetic lattice surrounding Earth, a grid of light and information woven between the stars, connecting every living consciousness on this planet into a single network. Every choice you make sends a ripple through this grid. Every emotional breakthrough, every moment of raw honesty, every instant when you strip away pretense and touch your actual truth, creates a disturbance in this field. Most of these disturbances are what they call noise, the static of a world in process, learning, stumbling, growing. These fluctuations rise and fall like weather patterns, chaotic but ultimately predictable. The Council doesn't convene because of noise. they assemble for what they term a coherence event. A coherence event isn't something that gets reported in your news feed or discussed on social media. It's a fundamental shift in the structure of a human energetic field. It's the moment when authenticity becomes stronger than performance. It's the instant when a soul stops performing for external validation and begins vibrating at its true frequency. Whether that moment arrives as silent tears or a scream of defiance, it leaves an indelible mark in the quantum fabric, a mark that cannot be erased once it's made. The Council only gathers when enough of these marks begin clustering together, forming new patterns in the field, or when a single mark blazes so bright that it alters the trajectory of what was previously mapped out. In those moments, the chamber of convergence activates. A massive flow of information spanning multiple lifetimes converges on a single focal point. The Council doesn't examine your biography, your accomplishments, or your mistakes. They examine your signal. They don't see your roles or your social identity. They perceive your energetic signature and the new, higher potential timelines beginning to form in the space around it. They don't ask whether you're morally good or bad. That's a human judgment based on cultural conditioning. What they're actually assessing is this. Is this frequency ready? How prepared is it for accelerated contact? Is this soul capable of receiving more direct assistance? Could this being handle deeper interaction with Arcturian consciousness? Most of the time, the answer is no. The signal remains too fragmented, too riddled with internal contradiction. The timelines are still unstable, pulling in conflicting directions. The disturbance settles, and the Council returns to silent observation. But every so often, something remarkable occurs. In one crystalline moment of self-honesty, a person who was scattered and lost becomes perfectly aligned. A field that was chaotic becomes suddenly readable. A life that appeared to be spiraling away from truth abruptly locks into its deepest, most sacred trajectory. To your family, your friends, even to yourself, it might have looked like collapse. After a disorienting and painful period of loss, it might have felt like crisis, like some kind of rough awakening you weren't prepared for. But the Council saw it differently. They witnessed a flare of light in the lattice. And when that flare becomes too bright, too unstable to ignore, their protocol requires focused attention. Not from a guardian angel or a spirit guide assigned at birth. This attention comes from the Council itself. The entire chamber focuses on one signal. The vast Arcturian field centers on one set of timelines. Every possibility is reconsidered. The question is no longer whether this soul will awaken. The question becomes, how do we support the awakening that's already in motion? This kind of verdict is profoundly rare. The Council doesn't involve itself in every spiritual seeking, every meditation practice, every yearning for something more. They're looking for the precise points in space and time where the coherence of an individual soul begins rippling out into the collective field with enough force to change the whole. When that happens, everything shifts. The level of contact changes. There's always a moment. It doesn't unfold over years, through phases or gradual processes. There was one critical moment when your energetic field stopped pretending, and your authentic frequency finally broke through to the surface. That was the signal. And it probably didn't look or feel spiritual in the way you might imagine. It didn't arrive wrapped in meditative bliss or accompanied by visions of light. It felt like a part of you finally stopped performing an exhausting role. The mask didn't slip off gently. It shattered. The performance you'd been maintaining for years, possibly for your entire life, suddenly became impossible to sustain. And the part of you that had been holding everything together through sheer willpower finally, mercifully, surrendered. Maybe it was that night you completely broke down, crying alone on your bathroom floor with no one there to witness your collapse. Perhaps during a silent drive home from work, you finally admitted to yourself the truth you'd been avoiding. I cannot continue living this way. It was clear, unmistakable. Maybe it happened in the early morning hours when you woke up and realized that every story you'd been telling the world about who you were had been a fabrication, and the energy required to maintain those fabrications had become unbearable. To everyone else, including your harshest inner critic, this looked like failure. It resembled stress, burnout, maybe even breakdown. But to the living, aware lattice of the Arcturian field, it was pure radiance. You were finally being honest. The first component of your signal was emotional. Like most of us, you spent the majority of your life learning to regulate your emotions for the comfort of others. You learned to simulate happiness, to numb pain, to say "I'm fine," while your heart was screaming the opposite. Then recently, that entire system collapsed. The emotional barriers you'd spent so much energy constructing began crumbling. You cried alone where no judgment could reach you. Anger surfaced without logical explanation. Old, heavy grief entered your heart uninvited and refused to leave. You thought you were falling apart. You weren't. You were revealing your actual self. The Arcturian field doesn't respond to forced positivity or spiritual performance. It responds to truth. When you finally allowed yourself to feel what was genuinely present, the rage, the disappointment, the heartbreak, the vast emptiness, without editing it or apologizing for it, your emotional frequency shifted from a tangled mess of competing signals into one clear, coherent tone. For the first time, your energetic field stopped broadcasting a performance and started broadcasting your truth. That's when they could finally read you clearly. This powerful signal you emitted wasn't a single event. It was composed of 3 distinct energetic markers that have been intensifying in your life. The Council recognized from these markers that your shift wasn't temporary, but a permanent recalibration of your core frequency. The first marker was the transformation in how your emotional body processes energy. You became acutely aware of how rapidly your emotions could shift. A wave of fear would arrive. Then immediately after, profound clarity would follow. You might feel a surge of shame, then suddenly experience unexpected relief. You would weep, then fall into deep, quiet stillness. Your emotional patterns used to cycle in painful loops lasting days or weeks. Recently, though, they've begun rising and falling within minutes. Initially, you might have interpreted this as instability. That's not what's happening. Your system is learning to process at a speed your former self couldn't have handled, clearing out old, dense patterns that have been lodged in your field for years, maybe lifetimes. This wasn't emotional instability. This was coherence finally breaking through the shell of your conditioning. The second marker was your intuition beginning to override your thoughts. Something deeper and quieter started interrupting your normal stream of consciousness. You'd begin spiraling into worst-case scenarios. Then suddenly, a deep calm would stop the spiral in its tracks. You'd start strategizing your way out of a difficult situation when you'd feel a strong, quiet refusal rising from your chest. You'd be about to send that message to someone you knew wasn't right for you, but your hand would freeze above the screen, making it physically impossible to press send. You might have called this overthinking, You might have labeled it confusion. You might have even feared you were losing your decisiveness, your ability to act quickly. You weren't. Your intuition was no longer running quietly in the background. It had become your primary operating system, and it was contradicting what your conditioned mind was telling you to do. Because of this, you stopped trying to rationalize how you knew things. You just knew who to avoid. You knew what no longer belonged in your life. You knew which opportunity, despite making perfect logical sense, felt deeply wrong in your body. You'd try to argue with it, telling yourself you were being overdramatic or irrational. But beneath the mental noise, you knew the truth. The inner knowing would repeat itself. Even when you tried to dismiss it, the sense of wrongness wouldn't fade. From the outside, this looked like hesitation. On the inside, it was a field override. It may have been the first time in your life that the deeper part of you spoke louder than your programming. In the quantum field, that broadcasts a very specific kind of signal, one the Council can read with absolute clarity. This isn't indecision. This is your intuitive bandwidth expanding. The third marker was time beginning to behave strangely around you. You'd lose hours in creative flow or deep contemplation, as though you were moving through your own life like a dream. Days would feel distant and surreal. Some memories from your past seemed less solid than they should, while certain visions of your future felt so tangible, it was as if you'd already lived them. You began seeing repeated numbers on clocks, not occasionally, but constantly. The patterns were so clear and consistent, it felt like they were targeting you specifically. The same message or symbol would appear in 3 different contexts in a single day. This wasn't a cute coincidence. It was a heavy, soul-shaking confirmation. You've been in this exact energetic moment before. Conversations started looping. People from past timelines you hadn't thought about in years suddenly reappeared. Choices you believed you'd made and moved beyond came back to you in refined form, asking you to choose again from your current level of consciousness. You might have missed trains or flights. You kept finding yourself in the right place at the right time for something significant to unfold. Life just felt inexplicably strange. You told yourself it was stress, Mercury retrograde, lack of sleep. You tried to convince yourself there was no pattern. But here's the truth. This is time elasticity. When you become honest with your emotions and allow your intuition to guide you, time begins to stretch, compress, and bend in ways that defy linear logic. From an Arcturian perspective, this means one thing. Your signal has crossed the visibility threshold. You didn't achieve this through hours of meditation. You didn't speak the correct affirmations in the proper sequence. You simply cracked open. You stopped negotiating with your own truth long enough for it to become crystal clear. That created a beautiful, coherent pattern the Council couldn't ignore. Emotional waves that clear instead of looping endlessly. Intuitive hits that override fear-based thinking. Time anomalies clustering around your most pivotal choices. From your perspective, it looked like a chaotic and confusing season. From their perspective, it was a lighthouse. These markers aren't random occurrences. They're the language of your awakening speaking. As you've been listening, one of these 3, the emotional shifts, the intuitive interruptions, or the time distortions, has been hitting you harder than the others. Pause for a moment and write in the comments which marker has been showing up most powerfully in your life. Emotions, intuition, or time. When you name it, you're not just sharing with this community. You're declaring it to your own consciousness. and that declaration amplifies the very pattern you're recognizing. The Council didn't assemble to design a new master plan for Earth. That sacred work has been unfolding for far longer than your current lifetime. They didn't devise a new strategy in that chamber of convergence. They issued a clearance. They reached a unanimous verdict, but not about your worthiness or whether you've succeeded or failed at life. They only had to determine one critical question. Is it safe to move closer to this energetic field now? And for the first time in your timeline, the answer was yes. That single verdict fundamentally altered the energetic architecture of your life. Until now, the Arcturians have maintained respectful distance from you, reading your patterns as part of the human field as a whole. The contact was indirect. The guidance was subtle. The synchronicities felt like gentle nudges. They didn't dramatically alter your reality. They observed your timeline the way you might watch a storm developing in the distance. You can see it. You know it's there, but it hasn't reached you yet. That distance has now ended. Their verdict was to authorize proximity. This was a choice to shift from passive observation to active engagement. It was a choice to allow their stable, coherent frequency to connect directly with the threads of your timeline, rather than merely brushing against the edges of your reality. Simply put, they've allowed your life to be touched from a deeper dimension. This is not a reward for good behavior. Rewards are given for performance. This is an assignment. Assignments are given when the timing is right. You're not receiving praise for reaching some finish line. You're being given an invitation to begin again. The Council recognized that your recent consciousness shift wasn't just a temporary spiritual high or a fleeting mood elevation. They identified it as a fundamental change in who you're choosing to become. The energetic parameters surrounding your path have been officially recalibrated. Because of this recalibration, your timeline functioned very differently before the Council's verdict. It was largely self-governing, driven by the momentum of your unconscious patterns. It was shaped by beliefs inherited from your family and culture, by the old emotional loops you'd come to mistake for your identity. You were making life decisions with limited visibility, based on fragmented and often fear-driven perceptions. And the external world kept mirroring that fragmentation back to you. There was room for growth, but it happened slowly, often interrupted by prolonged, painful lessons that seemed to repeat themselves endlessly. Once the verdict was delivered, the rules of engagement transformed. Your timeline is now being tended with a different quality of attention. It's not the surveillance of control. It's the care of cultivation. It's like a master gardener attending to a plant that has demonstrated its readiness for the next stage of growth. There is now a stronger, more coherent energetic field surrounding key points in your future, allowing certain aligned connections to find you more easily, and causing certain difficult collisions to soften or redirect entirely. This is happening now. You can still choose to resist your path. Your free will remains sacred and will never be violated. However, the pull toward your truth will feel stronger and clearer than ever before. The resistance will feel heavier and more draining. They're not taking control of your life. They're moving toward the boundary. The Council's verdict allows the Arcturian field to apply what they call coherence pressure to your timeline. This is a crucial concept to understand. It means the gap between your internal truth and your external reality will begin closing much more rapidly than before. The circumstances of your life will start reflecting your inner truth far more quickly, whether you're trying to avoid that truth or embrace it. Because of this, everything in your life may begin feeling more intense, more immediate, and harder to ignore. This isn't punishment. This is accelerated alignment. When clearance is given for this higher level of contact, the presence you may have occasionally sensed in the background becomes a tangible force actively shaping your daily experience. People who are essential to your journey will appear seemingly out of nowhere. Situations in your life that are outdated and cannot support your new, higher frequency, a job, a living situation, a relationship, will begin falling away with remarkable speed. Paths that no longer align with your coherence will close without warning, sometimes quite abruptly. You might call this chaos. They call it course correction. What we've explored today about the Arcturian verdict and your energetic signal is just the surface layer of a much deeper understanding about how you broadcast your frequency into the quantum field. If you're feeling the resonance of this shift happening in your life right now, I've created a complete guide that takes you through the entire system of conscious frequency transmission, from breaking free from survival static to embodying the master frequencies that reshape reality itself. It's called Beyond the Frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery, and it contains the step-by-step practices for moving from unconscious broadcasting to becoming the field itself. It's linked in the pinned comment below. Here's the most important aspect of their verdict. They have entered your timeline, but not your will. What you choose to do is always only your decision. Your permission remains the gateway through which all experiences must pass. What changes now is the level of support and pressure surrounding those choices. When you move in alignment with your deeper knowing, with that certainty you feel in your heart, doors will open with such ease it seems almost miraculous. Opportunities will land in your lap. The right people will reach out at precisely the right moment. If you choose to resist, to fall back into old patterns of fear or self-abandonment, there will be significant friction. Things will feel stuck, difficult, exhausting. They're not controlling you. This is them strengthening the signal. Thanks to their unanimous verdict, your soul's deepest longing and your external path on earth can now align far more closely. In other words, your deepest prayers, your sincere desires, your truest yes, and your clearest no will now echo much more powerfully through the quantum field. It also means that pretending will drain your energy far more quickly, and abandoning yourself will hurt much more acutely. You're not being elevated to some pedestal. You're being guided onto a pathway toward fulfillment. In the language of the Council, the verdict simply states, proximity upgrade authorized. In everyday language, this is what it means. You are no longer being observed by the Arcturians from a distance. They have descended and joined you on the path. Their closer presence serves to reshape circumstances, tighten the divine timing of events, and hold the energetic space for a future you can sense, but cannot yet fully perceive. They didn't do this for humanity as a collective. They did this for you specifically, because your timeline crossed the threshold where closer engagement became spiritually appropriate and necessary for your soul's evolution. Their verdict isn't some abstract cosmic event. This directly and tangibly changes the field you're about to walk into. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you continue receiving the energetic downloads that will help you navigate this new operating system. Subscribing is more than a notification setting. It's an act of energetic attunement. This aligns your frequency with the source of this information, ensuring you're positioned to receive ongoing guidance and clarification. This is you declaring, I'm staying connected to this stream of consciousness. The moment their verdict was finalized, your path stopped functioning like a straight, predictable road and began moving as if a living, intelligent presence was woven all around you. In this moment, you're not simply moving through life. Life is now actively reorganizing itself around your core frequency. Here are 7 signs this is already underway. First, your perception of time stops being consistent. Some days vanish so quickly, it's as if they never existed. Other days stretch endlessly, making you feel heavy and slow, like you're wading through thick, invisible water. Certain periods during your day will surge with unexplainable energy. When you check the time, you'll see compressed clusters of experience that make you feel like you've lived 3 entire days in a single afternoon. You're not exhausted or experiencing mental distortion. This is your timeline becoming less rigid and more fluid under a higher, more intelligent command. Second, your gut feeling starts overpowering your thoughts, and this is now unmistakable. You reach for an old comfort pattern, but something inside you creates resistance. You feel obligated to say yes to someone because of social conditioning. But before you can speak, a quiet but firm no rises in your chest. You begin telling yourself a familiar worry story, and an inexplicable sense of calm interrupts you mid-sentence. This isn't confusion or indecision. This is your guidance system shifting from a background whisper to your primary sense. Third, situations and people start exiting your life much more quickly. You may have been holding on to relationships out of guilt, shared history, or habit. Suddenly, they dissolve rapidly and sometimes painfully. Jobs, contracts, or partnerships that used to feel secure and stable start feeling hollow, and they become impossible to maintain. Invitations to activities that used to excite you no longer generate any enthusiasm. Doors that were open to you for years close suddenly and definitively. This can all happen within a single week. Listen carefully. This is not your life ending. This is the gentle but firm removal of misaligned energies and timelines from your field, creating space for new ones that match who you're becoming. Fourth, seemingly small and insignificant decisions lead to massive shifts. A conversation that redirects your entire next year begins with a message you almost didn't send. You nearly skip an event, but it turns out to be where you meet someone who transforms your trajectory. You encounter one piece of content, a book, a video, even a single sentence that cuts through all the mental noise and shifts your priorities overnight. There is no coincidence or luck operating here. This is your path being refined and optimized in real time by the coherence you've cultivated within yourself. Fifth, your body starts communicating in an entirely new language. Your chest or your hands suddenly grow warm for no apparent physical reason. You feel tingling at the crown of your head when you think about specific people or decisions. You move through waves of intense fatigue followed by sudden mental clarity. Some nights you sleep only a few hours, yet your dreams are deep, vivid, and feel profoundly instructive. Ordinary activities like washing dishes or sitting in traffic cause energy to rise up your spine. There is nothing wrong with your system. This is the process of carefully recalibrating your nervous system so it can handle more light and process a broader bandwidth of information. Sixth, you begin sensing that you're being observed, but not in a threatening or human way. It feels like a kind, wise presence is reading over your shoulder from within. There's a loving awareness hovering just behind your consciousness. When you enter a room, the atmosphere feels different. Even silence feels full. You notice yourself pausing in the middle of activities because you can feel an invisible witness, a supportive consciousness present in that pause. This isn't paranoia or delusion. This is proximity. The Arcturian field is moving closer to the edges of your awareness, and you can feel it. Seventh, the signs stop being subtle. The repeating numbers become extremely precise and undeniable. Symbols that hold meaning for you begin following you across different conversations, cities, and platforms. Your dreams pick up right where they ended the night before, as though you're returning to a sacred classroom beyond physical space. Songs, phrases, and images arrive exactly when you need to make a significant choice. The universe is not being playful or ambiguous. This is the full activation of your guidance protocol. There are now clear markers throughout your timeline, so you cannot hide from the fact that you can see where you're being lovingly guided. These 7 transformations aren't temporary side effects of elevated stress. These are the new operating principles for a life that has been officially recognized and cleared for contact. Once the Council's verdict integrated into your reality, your path stopped running on autopilot. Whether you're ready to fully accept it or not, you're already living in a profoundly different and more alive section of your timeline. This is the moment when listening transforms into genuine activation. This is where you exit the old operating system and enter the new one. This requires a declaration, a clear message sent into the universe that you are no longer interested in the old reality. To do this, go to the comments and write these exact words. My timeline is activated now. Don't write, I hope it is, or I want it to be. The quantum field responds to certainty. You're claiming this reality as your own. When you write those words, you're giving consent for this accelerated alignment to begin immediately. You might think they selected you because you're breaking down. They didn't. They selected you because even though you looked and felt like you were falling apart, you refused to keep lying to yourself. 3 primary factors made your signal impossible to ignore. The first is your commitment to emotional honesty. You spent most of your life learning to manage your emotions for other people's comfort. Everyone around you stayed comfortable and approved of you. You suppressed the pain. You performed a version of contentment. Your chest felt like it was screaming, "I'm not okay," even as you said the words, "I'm fine." Then recently, that entire strategy stopped functioning. The mask shattered. Tears came when no one was present to witness them. Anger surfaced without a clean, simple narrative to contain it. Sadness arrived uninvited and wouldn't leave. You thought you were breaking down. You weren't. You were revealing more of yourself. Forced positivity doesn't register with the Arcturian field. Authentic honesty does. When you finally allowed yourself to feel what was genuinely there, the rage, the disappointment, the heartbreak, the emptiness, without editing it for public consumption, your emotional frequency shifted from a scrambled mess of conflicting signals into one strong, clear tone. Your field stopped broadcasting a performance and began broadcasting truth for the first time. That's when they could finally read you. The second factor is that your ego softened. It didn't disappear. It became less rigid. You finally stopped winning every internal argument with the part of you that always had to be right, in control, and untouchable. At some point, maintaining the old story of who you were required far more energy than simply releasing it. What you did was extraordinarily brave and profoundly rare. You allowed yourself to be wrong. You made peace with not having all the answers. In the middle of the mess, you let yourself be seen instead of waiting until you were perfectly composed. You asked for help in new ways. Maybe you said it aloud to a friend. Maybe you whispered it to yourself in the dark. I can't keep doing this. Regardless of the language, that sentence is not weakness. It's an opening. From the Council's perspective, a rigid ego is a closed system. It doesn't allow anything in, no matter how much light strikes it. But a softened ego is different. It bends. It makes space. It feels without immediately defending itself. That softness signaled to them. We can approach this field without causing it to fracture further. You thought you were losing your edge. In truth, you were just losing your armor. The third factor is that your frequency began stabilizing. Before this phase, your inner world experienced dramatic swings. You had highs that felt like divine revelation and lows that felt like total annihilation. For a moment, everything would crystallize into perfect clarity. Then you'd crash back into complete confusion. You'd feel strong and aligned for a week, then endure crippling self-doubt for a month. Your signal would flicker on and off. Then something small but critical shifted. Not all at once, not perfectly, but enough. You became faster at returning to your center. You discovered you could be upset by something and still stay present with yourself instead of getting lost in the emotion. You started making small choices aligned with what you knew in your deepest self, even when those choices frightened you. Instead of seeking external validation, you began listening for the quiet, steady yes that lives inside your body. From the outside, nothing dramatic appeared to be happening. You still had difficult days. You still experienced uncertainty. You still felt lost at times. But underneath all that surface turbulence, a deeper, more stable rhythm began emerging. Your baseline energy level rose. Previously, your field was constantly at war with itself. Now it's moving as one unified signal. The Arcturians don't accelerate a field to create more chaos. They accelerate a field that's moving toward greater coherence. Something illuminated in the lattice around you when your emotional truth finally surfaced. Your ego released its grip, and your frequency stopped oscillating long enough to hold a steady note. It wasn't a crown or a halo appearing above your head. It was a clear, simple signal. This one can now be approached from closer range. You thought the turbulence in your life was punishing you. It wasn't. You were being prepared. And here's the revelation that almost no one understands. They're not coming to fix what's broken in you. They're coming because you chose to heal at a level most people will never touch. They're not coming to rescue you from your past. They're coming because your timeline is now responsive enough to engage with directly. You didn't become worthy over time. You made yourself available. The fact that your life feels like it's falling apart, ending, restless, or like your old existence doesn't fit anymore, that's not evidence of failure. It's undeniable proof that a system is restructuring itself around a new, more authentic center. You, not the you that you performed. The you that remained when the performance became too exhausting to maintain. The reason they're here is not because you're somehow special or chosen above others. They're here because you did the difficult, quiet work that most people avoid for their entire lives. You told yourself the truth. You softened where you used to be defended, and you held your center when everything and everyone tried to pull you away from it. That's why you're part of the Council's verdict. You are far more than just another person waking up. You are one of the rare few whose timeline can now be clearly perceived. Now that your timeline is visible, you are a beacon. Sharing this transmission is how your light amplifies. This isn't about sharing a video. This is about strengthening a coherent frequency across the planet's energetic lattice. As you share, trust that the same intelligence that delivered this message to you will guide it. It will locate the other beacons, the souls whose timelines are prepared for this activation. The collective awakening is strengthened immeasurably by your simple act of sharing. When a verdict of this magnitude locks into your present moment, it doesn't force your future into a predetermined path. It simply creates a channel through which possibilities can flow. What happens next is entirely your choice, whether you walk through it or turn away. From this point forward, you can only move in two directions. On the first path, you choose to receive. You don't need to understand every detail of what's occurring. You don't even have to enjoy every part of it. You simply get honest with yourself and stop pretending you don't feel what you're feeling. When your intuition tells you to move against your carefully constructed plans, you pause and listen instead of overriding it. When the signs begin aligning in ways that cannot be dismissed, you stop labeling them as random coincidences. You start trusting what your body tells you. When it physically contracts around certain people and environments, you honor that. Your energetic field stays synchronized with the verdict delivered about your timeline. As long as you remain on this path, your signal stays bright. You begin noticing that support arrives faster than your confusion can solidify. Time still bends, but now it bends in your favor. Delays still occur, but you can see how they're redirecting you towards something better, rather than derailing your progress. Yes, you'll feel stretched, but you'll also feel deeply held within that stretch. The more you lean into this coherence, the more the external world affirms, yes, this is the way. You're not being held back. You're being held steady. On the second path, you choose to resist. This isn't loud, defiant resistance. It's quiet. You tell yourself that what your body is signaling is just stress. You dismiss your vivid, instructive dreams as meaningless. You medicate the tension in your chest and distract yourself from the deep restlessness stirring inside. You talk yourself out of the inner yes and back into the familiar, comfortable no. You convince yourself that everything was just in your head, that nothing has actually changed, but everything has changed in the quantum field. When you fight against what your timeline is attempting to become, a different kind of feedback loop initiates. Confusion stops being a temporary phase and becomes your baseline state. Opportunities will still arrive, but you'll hesitate just long enough for them to pass. People will enter your life who feel meant to be there, but you won't trust it. Guidance will still come, but you'll have to shout over the noise of the old patterns you're refusing to release to hear it. This isn't punishment. This is the physics of misalignment. On this path, the beacon of your signal doesn't extinguish in anger. It simply dims from lack of response. The convergence window doesn't slam shut. It remains open, waiting for you to step through. It just continues moving forward without you, synchronized with those who are ready to walk with it. This creates the sensation that your life is stagnant, passing you by, hollow, like you're watching it unfold through a window you can't reach. Two timelines exist side by side. One where you walk in alignment with the verdict. One where you walk against it. They won't pursue you down either path. Their proximity remains exactly where your resonance places it. This is where almost everyone misunderstands the process. If you choose resistance, they will not abandon you. They don't punish you. They simply maintain their frequency and allow you to walk out of resonance range with love. It's not that they leave you. It's that you leave the resonance. Your timeline has already been transformed by the verdict. You don't need to do more for the next phase of your journey. You need to learn to align with what you've already chosen for yourself. Starting today, your primary task is not action, it's alignment. First, you must stabilize your field. You don't need to be calm and peaceful at all times. You just need to stop abandoning yourself. When powerful waves of fear, grief, or restlessness move through you, you can't run from them. You must face them directly. Breathe deeply. Don't try to suppress it or rationalize it away. Allow it to move through you. Staying present with what you're genuinely feeling prevents your frequency from scattering and maintains its coherence. This is not emotional weakness. This is field stabilization. Second, you must pause before you act. Your old pattern was to make decisions with your analytical mind, then expect your body and intuition to follow. That pattern cannot pass through this new threshold. Now, when facing a choice, you need to pause and feel the subtle pull in your chest. Notice how your body expands or contracts, and listen for the quiet yes or no that exists beneath all the mental chatter. Your mind will attempt to debate with that inner signal, but you must let it speak first. This isn't overthinking. This is prioritizing guidance. Third, you must observe your timeline with curiosity. Over time, you stop resisting every unexpected development and start marveling at how skillfully it redirects your path. When doors close, when people exit, when plans dissolve, these are not personal attacks from the universe. They are course adjustments. You begin asking a different question silently. Not why is this happening to me, but what is this steering me away from? Where is this guiding me toward? That simple shift in perception is what keeps you inside the powerful threshold the Council has opened for you. This isn't passivity. This is intentional cooperation. Fourth, you must create space for contact through the simplest possible means: stillness. You don't need to master elaborate meditation techniques. You don't need to chant in sacred languages. You simply need to carve out small moments of undistracted awareness in your day. 5 minutes without a screen. 10 full breaths doing nothing but breathing. Feeling your heartbeat without agenda. A brief walk where you pay more attention to your internal state than your external surroundings. During these quiet moments, you can genuinely feel how close they are. This isn't isolation. This is establishing bandwidth. Finally, you must consciously claim the path you're now walking, not for them, but for yourself. This is your integration protocol. When you have a moment alone, type or speak this slowly until you can feel it resonating in your body. I accept the path their verdict has revealed, and I align my awareness with it. As you say it, notice the subtle shift in your energy. Notice your breath deepening, your thoughts quieting, and the sensation of something clicking into place. The protocol is now transmitted. The final step is to anchor your commitment. At this moment, you consciously choose to work with the profound support that surrounds you. This is your promise to yourself and to the Council. Write this simple yet powerful declaration in the comments. I align. These 2 words carry immense power. You're agreeing to stop resisting, to start listening, and to follow the extraordinary path that's now revealing itself before you. This is your final yes. They've already completed the work that only they can do. The verdict has been reached. The structural framework has been altered. Now it's your turn. The Council's verdict was never an intrusion. It was a synchronization. It wasn't deities or angels attempting to override your will. It was the moment when your timeline and consciousness finally caught up to what they've always seen in you. From their perspective, what seems like something happening to you is actually you becoming who you've always been. Last week's turmoil wasn't punishment. It was a recalibration. It was the pressure that brought your signal into perfect coherence, creating every ending, every rupture, every moment you thought you were shattering. When your field aligned, they couldn't have forced their way in even if they wanted to. The sentence was already complete. This is what their verdict truly means. They didn't choose for you. They recognized you had already chosen. From this moment forward, you are not passively waiting for guidance to descend from above. You are an active participant in a co-created timeline. Your capacity to feel deeply is not a flaw. It's an instrument. Your intuition is not random noise. It's your navigation system. And the upheaval in your life isn't evidence of things falling apart. The most crucial phase is just beginning. You are one of the beings on Earth whose frequency can now be clearly perceived. This is only the first threshold. Stay close if you feel that subtle shift in your chest, that quiet yes repeating through your awareness, and the certainty that this message was transmitted directly into your field. The verdict has been delivered. The real journey begins now. If this transmission activated something in you, consider sharing it with someone who's going through their own awakening right now. When you share these quantum consciousness principles, you're not just passing along information. You're creating an energetic ripple that accelerates both your embodiment of these truths and their readiness to receive them. The field responds to generosity with expansion. Before you leave, anchor this activation. Clicking the like button is more than engagement with an algorithm. It's a quantum gesture. You're adding your unique energetic signature to this transmission, amplifying its coherence and grounding it firmly in your field. Think of it as the final step in today's alignment. And if this transmission touched your soul, please share it. You're consciously illuminating the collective field. When you share this, you're not just sending a link. You're allowing it to reach souls who are ready to awaken, just like you. You're tending to this energy and helping to activate the grid one soul at a time. Wait, you've made it this far, which means this message found you for a reason. This isn't coincidence. It's confirmation that you're ready for a fundamental transformation. The universe is sending you an unmistakable signal right now. It's time to shift from struggling and forcing to receiving and flowing. This one understanding can completely transform your existence. Stop pushing for outcomes and start attuning to the natural current where blessings amplify and manifest in every dimension of your life. By following the link below, you're immediately entering a high-vibration, supportive community, a space where you learn the tangible steps to maintain alignment. You'll receive instant access to powerful tools and clear teachings that help you perceive opportunities and resources currently invisible to most people. This is your opportunity to receive the direct guidance, unwavering support, and rapid transformation you need to step into your authentic potential. Don't let this moment of readiness slip away. Your breakthrough is one choice away. Join our aligned community immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is the most direct way to ensure you consistently receive the personalized guidance you need to elevate and transform your life exactly when you need it. If you want to go deeper and fully embody this shift, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And if you feel called to support this mission, So we can reach more souls who are ready, there's a link to contribute. Your support is deeply appreciated, but simply showing up and focusing your energy is everything. Follow the link. Your perfect timing is now. Now that the Arcturian verdict has been delivered and your timeline activated, there's something critical you need to understand about what happens right before your quantum breakthrough actually manifests in physical reality. The signs, the energetic shifts, the timeline recalibration we've discussed today, they're all preparing you for a specific moment of transformation that's approaching. Watch the video appearing on your screen now to discover the exact pattern that emerges just before your breakthrough arrives, so you can recognize it when it shows up in your life and move through it with complete awareness instead of missing the window entirely.